Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King, and today we're taking a look at Platin. Now, Platin was actually released quite a while ago on the Korean version, and he's still pretty popular to this very day. Now, before I begin, apparently I'm supposed to tell you guys about this at the beginning of the video, and I had no idea. Remember, leave a like, comment, and please do subscribe to my channel if you want to see more 7 Nights stuff like this all the time, because I do love to review all the heroes. If you want to know more about these heroes, just leave a comment and ask me a question. I know a lot about all of the heroes to come. Now, okay, Platin. Is he good here? I can only hope. Because he's pretty popular on the... Wait a second, he is a mage. What the heck? I'm pretty sure he was universal on the Korean version. But, you know, I'm just going to go into this expecting...
Save us from devastation.
It's kind of strange to see him as a mage because he was always kind of just tanky. I'm kind of scared to press passive. What does this passive do? Okay. Nestra's Blessing? Hopefully I pronounced that right. Applies Nestra's Blessing to the caster for 4 turns. Ultimates 60% of the damage receives. Recovers HP by 100% of magic attack up to 5 times if the HP drops below 50%. Increases the damage dealt to enemy universal heroes by 80%. Universal heroes are a pretty big part of every team, so that is actually a pretty decent buff. And there are some teams that have a lot of universal heroes, like mine for example. I have a lot of universal heroes on my team. So this is actually a pretty decent buff. So this is a shield that transfers all the damage to the caster. This is actually a pretty decent shield. So I can definitely see him being used in the arena because of this buff. It's really, really powerful. Ultivate decreases all damage other than fixed damage, and it decreases piercing damage. So this is pretty strong. He's still pretty tanky, but he's definitely not as tanky as he was before because, again, he's been switched to a mage. So mages naturally have less defense and HP than universal heroes. But regardless, still pretty good. And that's pretty much the same thing that he did on the Korean version of the game. So I'm kind of glad they didn't change his passive because it was always pretty strong. But the fact that he's a mage means that he's not as tanky as he used to be. So they kind of nerfed him on that. On at least on his defense and HP anyway. But alright. Light from the Other World. Converts 2 enemies' HP to 1. Yep, that still does the same thing. Decreases all enemies' hit shield buffs by 3 hits. Now, I'm not sure about that. I think that may have been an addition. It has been a while since I've used them, but it may have always done that, and I just don't remember. But that's still a pretty good ability. Doesn't seem like they changed much with it, and I'm really glad that they didn't. It was always a pretty powerful ability. It wasn't too overpowered, and it was always just okay, so I'm glad they didn't change that. But alright, let's take a look at his second active. Acting Judge. Inflicts 100% magic damage on all enemies 2 times. Additionally, nullify the target's block for 2 turns. Yeah, okay, but what does Defense Offset do? Defense Offset inflicts additional damage relative to enemy's defense. That's pretty powerful. That is pretty powerful. So that's strong. Very strong. This is telling me that he's definitely a lot more aggressive than he used to be since he's been switched to a mage. So they did nerf his defense, but since they nerfed his defense, they would have to increase his attack, so he is definitely more aggressive than he was before. So he wasn't exactly nerfed, he was just balanced. Rescue of Destruction. Inflicts 70% magic damage on all enemies 3 times, ignores the enemy's defense, and applies critical hit. This also decreases the enemy's buff duration by 3 turns. So, all I can say about his ability so far is they've kind of just been balanced. They've lowered his defense and increased his attack, so he's more aggressive than he was before, but he's less tanky than he was before. So this pretty much just means he's going to be used a lot differently in the arena. But I'm hoping he makes some kind of meta because I want to see a lot of these heroes a lot more often. All these new heroes they're releasing are pretty strong. Karuga, for example, I didn't think she would make much of a meta, but apparently she is. She's doing pretty well right now. So there's no telling how he'll affect the meta. Hopefully, he does change something in the meta, because I'd like to see him in play a lot more than he is in the Korean version. But okay, let's take a look at those animations.
Ouch!
Step aside.
Cool.
Portal of space and time grant us entrance.
Always loved that animation. It was always so cool. Ever since the first time I saw that animation in the Korean version, I really was expecting great things with this Dark Knights list, because I knew where they were going. Because I've seen this style before in villains and other games like Final Fantasy, and I was so excited to see who they had next. And I was kind of right with the style, because they kind of carried that with all of the heroes. And I really, really like it. But alright, let's take a look at his second.
Oh, Reaper of the Goddess. Punish this catastrophe.
Man, that's cool. Alright.
Goddess. Allow us to unleash destruction for salvation.
Still one of the coolest animations in Seven Knights. I love this guy a lot. He's a really cool hero. I can't wait to see him in play. I can't wait to see what people make with him, what kind of builds and everything. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Overall, what do I think about this hero? They changed him a lot. They did change him a lot since they switched him from Universal to a Mage. That means he's definitely going to be used a little more aggressively than he was in the original version of the game, the Korean version, where he's used more of as a tank. Excuse me. Normally, I would use a bunch of my gems and try to get this guy through packs, but you know what? That's probably not a good idea. I think I'm going to use most of my gems for upgrading and limit breaking all of my heroes. That's probably the best thing to do with them anyway. But anyways, that is all the time I have left for this video, my fellow gamers. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Seven Knights. I do love uploading a lot of Seven Knights videos, reviewing all of the heroes they release. But until next time, my fellow gamers, take it easy for me, and please do have a blessed day. Bye.